Okay, so I've gotten a few questions about how nested for loops work, and this will be a very short video. Let's just explore it really fast. So here, I have the outer loop, and then I have a nested loop. Let's see how that works. So this works just like nested functions, right? The outer loop is what the JavaScript engine sees on line 6 first. So it says, okay, I will now enter a loop. The loop says my I is 0. I look inside the loop, it says, okay, I have to run this console.log, and my current value for I is 0, okay? And then it sees that there's an inner loop. So it says, okay, I have to finish this whole inside loop before I do any more work on the outside loop. So that's why we see inner loop ran all the way to 4. And then that's when the outer loop gets to run its second iteration, right? So now I is 1. Okay. Now, if the nested for loop finishes running and it exits, but it sees something else here, let's console.log inner full loop ran. Okay. So it runs everything and then it exits outside and it says, hey, is the outer for loop finished? Nope. We have one more line. Console.log that, please. So it does that. And then it allows the outside for loop to increase by 1. Then it starts over again. It sees the inside for loop again. So it runs the whole thing one more time. Okay. So actually, your nested for loops will actually run as many full iterations as whatever you have on the outside or the parent for loop. Okay, so what happens if we now inside of our nested for loop, we have another third loop. Let's go all the way up. Let's see what happened. Okay, the engine sees this, so the outer loop ran. It sees this inside for loop. It says, okay, I better finish this inside for loop first. So it console.logs inside for loop ran. But then it sees the third loop. And then it says, okay, hold on. This inner loop actually has an inner third loop. So I gotta finish the innermost one first. So that's why you see third loop has to finish running its full iteration before the inner loop gets its second iteration. Okay, that means the outer loop will not run until all of the inner for loops run. But the inner for loops only run one whole iteration for every time the third loop finishes its iteration. That's why we see so many console.logs here. Okay, so look how long it took for the console.log inner for loop ran to even run. Okay, it took so many lines. Okay, because it had to exit out of the inner for loop in order to console.log this. And it couldn't exit until the third loop was done. Okay, I hope this was helpful.